So it was.
She said she will expand it as the
Candidates
nominations come in.
Oh,
Yeah. So they just called me, because I said, this, finally, how many people do you see? There's some totally different. What are you gonna do?
Do you remember that?
No, I thought I had that with me, I
Do
don't.
you have that resolution you showed me the other day with you, Nick?
Yes.
Can I see it just for a minute?
You have 3 dogs again? Another foster? Female or male? Male. So well behaved, unlike mine. Her eyes long, I'm not there. It's like downstairs, they get excited and they start barking.
You know when
It's not
they're
that
here?
happy.
No, he's talking, no, he's talking about someone
Someone
different. It's through Public Services of New Jersey. No, really, that's already Morrisville. This is on 20 miles.
It's a lot closer than our one.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, we're always going far out.
Okay. I just wanted to see what sign that.
The,
Parent.
it looks like the main headquarters is in Republic, is in Phoenix, Arizona. It's the second largest non-hazardous solid waste management company in the United States. So we say,
Now,
this is why you get it for cheap.
the idea is, and this is a 3-year contract, as the other one was?
Yeah, with the option to open it up.
43 miles away is our bond.
I know what that is.
Did you hear anything from, that he wouldn't be here? Okay, I'll give a few more minutes.
7:30 again.
We should wait till 7 after.
Usually, yeah.
Exactly.
I'm just saying, like,
He's like, we advertise 7:30, we open at 7:30. People's lives are very quiet.
Wait. What time is the debate time?
I know what now, I guess 9.
Why did they do that? Because I think they were,
What's that?
it should be next week anyway,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, should be, for the 16th.
So we don't get our own for this one.
Yeah, so, it's wrong on both counts, it's wrong either direction.
Okay,
Either the day or the time.
it's Tuesday. Yeah.
Is it we're close to one? For Wednesday?
No, they don't close it there.
Does the state?
Yeah, your shop is closed. Yes. Tomorrow's a holiday, a holiday for the bridge collector, the bridge commission. That means the banks are also
Courts are
closed.
closed in
And
Jersey.
it means the state is closed.
Federal government's closed, I wasn't sure about state.
No, if the bridge commission is closed for the holiday, then the state is closed. The state
Both states?
They always state holidays.
One time I was in Florida on the 4th of July, I said, no going today.
Did they really?
We were holiday, and then we got speeding tickets.
So they get you. I
That
was
was
so happy I put the points in the middle.
drive up to.
It's just, people typically.
We report, right?
Right, but you can get out of Pennsylvania in 2 feet or.
It's true.
Over to Maryland, Delaware. Can't really do that.
You have a cube in your car, but.
So I said, you need a car boat. But even still, in Orlando, you're as far from the summer water as you are from.
Let's start.
Okay.
Sorry.
I mean, it's working.
She was just worried about that.
Me better.
I don't think it.
No, because I'm trying to fix it.
Yeah. Debbie helps us.
Seven 30 on Tuesday, November 10th, 2015. And for the special meeting, which is actually consent the agenda. So for next Monday, we'll have Lone Sound Prayer, the Pledge of Allegiance, the roll call. We will have special presentations, the crowning of the Winterfest winners. We don't know at this time whether they're 2, 3, 4. I guess they'll let us know ahead of time and give us a little bio. And we'll have the hearing of the public, which we will have now. So this is the hearing of the public, so anyone who wishes to speak, please come forward, state your name and your address.
Eileen Drive, Box 75 Harrison Avenue, Morrisville, Pennsylvania. First of all, I'd like to say congratulations to those who were voted in as council members at last week's election. And I'd also like to thank all those that served and did not get reelected, and I'd like to thank you for your years of service on the council. And one other thing, I'd just like to thank all the veterans who have served our country, and in honor of the Veterans Day tomorrow, I'd like to say the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I'd like to thank them for all their service.
And we have that on tape, which is wonderful. Okay, anyone else to speak this evening?
Jay Berger, 90 West Maple Avenue. Again, congratulations to all for their service. Sorry, Jeff isn't here this evening. And to those that are elected, I'm sure the residents are looking forward to a spirit of cooperation amongst the members of council and your mayor. I just have a point of order question. Since the meeting is scheduled for 7:30 this evening, when we came in, we noticed there was a quorum of 6 of you sitting around the table and discussions of contracts or whatever. Perhaps you could clarify what we were discussing and maybe recap it during the meeting, because the quorum is under sunshine law, it's a meeting, and if you're not voting at that point, so I just appreciate that clarification of what you were discussing about.
It was the trash contract, which we don't have before us.
Okay,
We
so
were
it's
talking
unfortunate that
about
that wasn't
when
done.
Christmas party.
Like,
And the Christmas party.
just,
This is quite fine, trash contract, would have been more appropriate once you officially convene your meeting. I just put that out.
In your opinion, yes, thank you.
It's sunshine law, ma'am, it's not my opinion.
Anyone else this evening? All right, next we'll have the approval of the minutes. We'll have reports. A motion to pay the bills. Do we have a motion for an ordinance to amend the Pennsylvania Municipal Retirement System, Morrisville Uniform Pension Plan per Pennsylvania state requirement? We've talked about this before. This is for the uniform pension plan. We've already done the non-uniform plan. This is a requirement by the state. We don't have a choice on this. 8C, a motion to approve the annual municipal contribution of $7,500 to support the Landmark Towns program for 2016, per the letter from Elisa Garofalo, President and Executive Director of Delaware and Lehigh Valley Heritage Corridor. Either Pam Coleman, who is the local Landmark Towns Director, or Elise would like to come to the meeting. They asked approval, and I said, certainly they can come and talk.
Special presentation?
Well, it can be a special presentation or they'll talk under, and since it's on the agenda, I think it might not be a bad idea to put them out in the beginning under special presentation. I don't know whether they'd like to stay for the whole meeting or not. They did not indicate that. So we do have a letter, you received that in your packet on Friday, the request letter. 8D, a motion to approve the land development plan on My Lane for Britain Realty. This plan has been approved by our planning commission and our zoning commission. It had to do with a swell that they're putting in for,
Is that Morrisville?
it's actually across the road. But
Like
it's-
shared with, like it's where
Shared.
East End one?
Yeah, with the
was?
swell, I think is ours.
Right, it's where the, what was that, Haddonfield lumber used to be.
Oh, okay, so way over
Yeah.
on my lane.
Yes. We have 8E, a motion for the borough solicitor to prepare and the borough manager to advertise an ordinance amending chapter 65-5 of the Morrisville Borough Code to remove the residency requirement for the borough manager's position.
One question now?
Yeah, sure, go right ahead.
We're spending money to advertise that to only change the residency cost,
At this point, yeah.
so then you're gonna spend more money to advertise these correct things that haven't been corrected since last January. That you were on the policy meeting, and you were also, and nothing's been done with that yet.
Nothing's been done about it.
Why? I mean, why are we gonna do that then? You're gonna spend it again. So you wanna correct that before you put somebody in?
What is he wanted to correct?
You had the whole list of it.
There were things on the list.
But the changes that we wanted to make weren't necessarily changes that we make to the ordinance, they were changes we
Yeah,
were gonna make to job
Mm,
duties for the borough
It
manager.
was the ordinance.
It could be
It
for
was
policy.
the ordinance. So you're taking this stuff out of the ordinance and you're gonna make this up a policy? Is what you're saying? Because otherwise, you're keeping the same stuff in that ordinance that you're putting out there. You're only changing that one clause. All those things we're talking about doing now, making policy, is part of that original ordinance, because I have it here. So how do you put that out and just change that one part?
Well, that's what
I
we
mean, some
discussed,
of
not making it a part of the ordinance. The changes that we wanted to, that we were talking about would not be part of the ordinance, so we wouldn't be making it, we wouldn't be
So you're gonna make
advertising
a whole
that.
new ordinance and it's
No.
all gonna
No,
pertain to.
It's not an
this-
ordinance.
Why would we need an ordinance? We have an ordinance. We would just make a policy.
Oh, I'm saying that, you're saying advertise for an ordinance change for the fact that
For
they have
that
to live in.
one
Correct, the residency.
But on that ordinance that you're pulling that from, there are things on there that were never changed,
They were job descriptions of the manager, basically, or job duties of the manager.
but it's part of the ordinance, and they do have to
They're
change,
not part of the
correct?
ordinance, but the changes that you wanted to make are not in that ordinance that we would have to change. The changes that you wanted to make would be part of the policy.
But
It
the
would not be
one
part of
right
the
now, we
ordinance.
didn't draw up a new one. I'm saying, we didn't draw up a new ordinance that says that we're changing the residency. So if you're taking it from the one we have on the books already, those things you want to change and make into what you're saying is a policy now, which I know that's the way we're gonna go. But when I sat at that meeting, it was when we went off to the ordinance and put it out there.
What I recall of
Oh.
that meeting,
That isn't how I recall the meeting either.
No, well.
what I recall of the meeting is that rather than have the manager's duties, how he hires, how he fires, have that contained in a policy promulgated by sitting borough council, whoever that council is.
So right now, that's what I'm saying, the book's the way it is.
Yeah, it doesn't mean anything if we don't, if we
It's not, it's
develop a
a
policy saying the manager will do this, that, and the other thing, the manager does this, that, and the other thing.
But in the meantime, nothing's changed with it, because there's no policy being drawn, you're ready to hire
Well,
somebody new and
Well,
nothing's changed.
let's wait
I'm
and
gonna
see
read
who gets
65.
hired to find out what you wanna
Read all you
do.
want, I have it.
I don't know that everything is. It says the manager shall be chosen solely on the basis of executive administrative abilities with special reference to actual experience in or knowledge of accepted practices in respect to the power and duties of the office as herein outlined. The manager need not be a resident of the borough or the state of Pennsylvania at the time of appointment, but as soon as possible thereafter shall become and during tenure shall remain a resident of the borough.
That's all we wanna change.
So what else have we changed in there?
Well, the whole rest of the ordinance, there's other things that are in that ordinance, this is the ordinance that's on file.
You wanna make a policy of how the manager goes about performing his duties, right? That's what we're talking about.
Right. What I'm saying is, this ordinance is on our books already, that has everything about that manager's position, is on the books. The only thing you're changing in is
In that order. But
advertising
we,
is
we
residents.
still can enact a policy telling the manager how he is to perform his duties. There's
And
nothing,
what I'm saying is then you have to
You don't
amend
have-
this.
why
and
would
change
you-
No,
why
we
would
don't
have
have
to
to
change it?
amend that.
we form a policy. This is how you're gonna work.
And what supersedes this then? That supersedes this?
Yeah,
They
we make the
don't-
policy.
It wouldn't clash.
That's the way I see that. Does an ordinance override a policy?
But what things are you thinking that would go against the ordinance? How, in what instance would the ordinance override the policy?
Okay, in that ordinance, and these are your notes, we
Right.
already went through this before. You want to put, you have to change the bond, that has to be changed in there.
That's been changed. That's been changed since,
It was, because I didn't get a copy of nothing.
It was done internally, they just called the bond, because that figure was from
I'm
nineteen
saying it has to
ninety-one.
be changed on that ordinance that's going out there. The other one was the manager shall hire part-time police officers per the recommendation of the chief of police and the mayor. That wasn't changed in there.
That's the way
we
it's.
talked about that.
We're not, I don't remember us talking about changing that policy.
The other one was B, section 7, change the time frame. The agenda shall be sent out to 3 business days prior to council meetings, except under the following circumstances. This is like.
Well, that wasn't something that
The bonds are gonna be
we
changed.
agreed on. That was something that you wanted. The only thing that we all agreed on as a policy committee was to change the residency requirement. Everything else that you wanted to change could be made into a policy.
That
We had
no,
talked,
This is me, we.
We,
Three
yes, that's right.
the things that you wanted to address, there were things that could be put into a policy. You wanted very specific language, and that can go into a policy. We agreed that it shouldn't go into the ordinance, because again, in 5-10 years, when you have another council, they're gonna wanna change that again, and that costs money. So we were looking ways to save money with not having to put it in an ordinance.
Somebody goes online and pulls this ordinance for the manager, that's what they're gonna see.
That is the ordinance for the manager.
Exactly. Now, the hiring practices, what you have in here is gonna be different than what you're gonna have in a policy, correct?
Possibly.
A policy, which means it's gonna stay the
I'm
same.
not aware of that.
I don't know how they would.
What do you mean, how they would?
The manager
Why would it be
hires the
different?
fires, council does.
That's right.
Exactly. The specifics would be in the policy.
Right.
The ordinance is very
That's-
general.
That's not changing on how a police officer
Ordinance
is hired.
says right there.
No, it doesn't affect police officers anyhow, except for the part-time.
When we sat at that meeting, one of the things we had to complain about, which I'm sure you probably don't have it now, is how the manager hires. The council does not even know this guy hires people. And it could happen, he may be leaving, but it could happen with the next manager too. Because none of that is specifically stated in there, how it gets addressed to the
So
council.
we can make a policy addressing that issue.
It hasn't so far, I've been a whole year playing with this. You're gonna hire somebody.
Oh, so you're saying-
You wouldn't let us move forward with anything,
We're
Debbie,
not
until
doing
the
it.
election's over. Yes, you.
I said hire somebody, I still don't think you can just till January. We have not even had a meeting to even discuss any applications. It was like, here you go, take these and take a look at them and all these put your name in the hat.
No.
We haven't even
You
met
were asked
together.
to contact the borough hall.
What are we talking about now? I'm
Excuse
losing
me,
track here.
excuse me a second.
When are we gonna meet?
Victor, excuse me, I'm gonna address what you just said. The last meeting, you were asked to let Virginia know what would be some good dates that we could sit down and discuss all the applications.
Mhm.
No one called her. Actually, Fred was the only person who called.
And this is, like I said, and this is right before the election time, you wanna try and get that done, right? And bring these guys in, whoever they're gonna be, out of the 3 of what we're supposed to all put our.
And then vote
names in the hat.
against it. Yeah, but you have the option to vote against whatever we do, what anybody does.
Were you gonna say something?
No, no,
Because I
no,
need to
no.
move on.
Doesn't really matter.
Well, for instance now, your daughter was made full-time. That was obviously the one he was gonna hire before when we said, oh, how you doing that without us even knowing about it, correct? So there you go. We don't even know things are happening in the borough, it just happens. It just happens. And it's like, just supposed to be accepted.
We hire people all the time. He doesn't tell us before usually, he sends us a note.
You said the whole borough is a family. When we did the ASME contract, 4 people had to accuse themselves up there.
You're talking about something different now.
Well, we don't have any, you don't have any way to stop it from happening in the future.
Which
You
would
wouldn't
be
even
what?
have everybody,
Which would be what?
you don't wanna do a nepotism policy, but there is something should be put in that policy, that ordinance that says you're gonna be doing stuff like that, if you're not putting nepotism, you better have something that says it has to be unanimous vote of the council,
Oh, no.
because you can't have that.
Council should not be hiring and firing.
Oh, they do it in some boroughs, I got some of the ones that do
Which
it.
borough do they do it?
Bristol, they do it.
All right, I brought that up to the chief of Bristol, who was a friend of mine. Matter of fact, he herniated himself laughing when I told him that Bristol hires like that. They hire who they want.
So the
And that's why there's a hodgepodge down there. The borough manager down in Bristol hires the same way our manager hires.
well, then we're all in trouble.
Yes, we are, I guess. This is a small town. There are people in this town. I don't want to deprive anybody from applying for a job here.
It's a budget.
Let's have a final. I don't want to deprive anybody, relative of yours, relative of mine, Fred, anybody, from getting a job here because they happen to be related to somebody. It would be unfair to that person.
So it doesn't get advertised properly.
Advertising is
It does.
different. We can set a policy on advertising. I have no problem with that.
It is advertised. Advertised internally, and then it goes.
Oh,
Everything-
internally, it
some
never
people-
gets past internal, that's what the problem is.
Some people want it advertised differently. We can address that.
Oh.
How do you want it advertised? Wait,
Well, if it's in the contract, then it has to be posted internally first.
first, well, that, yeah, that's,
So it's at the library, it's here, it was posted on the website, so it doesn't have to be somebody.
So it's guaranteed
That
that
works
as long as
here.
you work in the borough, your friends and your family will know what their jobs, it will never get out to the public
Well, we
anywhere
don't
else.
want
We
to-
advertise.
Again, that's how most of the people in the world get their jobs anyway.
How do you want it- how do you
Oh,
want
that
it-
makes it okay.
how do you want
It
it
doesn't make
advertised?
it okay,
Tell-
the law
tell us
makes
how
it
you want
okay, the law
advertised.
makes it okay, the law says that that's how we're supposed to do it.
Oh, and you're okay with that? You're
I'm okay with the
that?
law.
You're okay with
It says
those
it's
people
okay.
have to recuse themselves for an ASME contract?
Don't yell at me
I
now.
was
I'm
in
just
shop
saying,
steward for
that's
Aspen,
crazy.
that's why I recused myself. It had nothing to do with family members who work here.
Oh, my God.
This is nuts.
And that was-
I was a president of my local at a hospital 70 miles away from here, so I don't know how that's relevant if you're counting me as one of four.
No, you weren't here that night.
Yes, I was.
Yes, you
I
was.
recused myself. Recused myself.
Yeah.
Right, my association with ASPE.
So can we move on?
Oh, sure.
8F, a motion to appoint a borough manager.
You set dates.
8G, motion to award the contract for collection of refuge and recyclables to Republic Services for the amounts as outlined in the bid proposal dated October 30th, 2015, contingent upon Republic Services providing a performance bond in the amount of 100% of the total contract price. That wasn't there for the opening. You can get a copy of those bids, can be sent out in Friday's packet to see who
So
all
we'll
did.
see bids on Friday.
Yeah.
You can see the amounts.
Yeah, that's right. How many bidders?
Just like they do, we have a form that
You'll
we
get a
use
bid
for
sheet.
bid contracts, and
So you know how many
it's a bid-
bidders, just the number?
do I don't know how many there are.
There were more than one, too.
We know Scarrow.
So they're going to appoint a borough manager.
Waste management, I'm sure.
Right,
They're adding in.
and there's like 3 brothers out there.
Trash bags.
Oh, really? Okay.
Well, I know they're locally, but I don't know if they bid on it or not. You got,
I don't
Got
know,
like-
a few bids, it's not only one
There's
bid.
another one,
Yeah,
Call is another one, and there's a couple others.
I don't know if they did.
I'm sure we'll see.
If you did, if no one wants to wait till Friday, you certainly can call the borough and ask them.
No, we should award the contract, we're talking about January 1st.
I didn't say we're not gonna award it,
Oh,
I'm saying if they wanted to know who those bidders are before Friday's packet.
We're not gonna vote on, to reward it until December?
No, to
No,
Monday.
November, we're doing Monday.
Right, all right.
But you will get the bid sheet with the high quote.
Anyone have new business they wanna add to this?
Yeah, we got the letter here from the seniors, anybody got a thought on it?
I'm
I
sorry,
think it seems a
I
little
would say we should
premature.
have when we get to our
it has
budget.
to be, we'll discuss it later.
Well, I think it's a little premature, I know that the county, do we know that the county's,
What are they gonna do
Stepped
with the
away.
money?
They said it's operating budget money, they're
For
looking,
this
they're
year?
asking for next
Yeah,
year,
it's
2016,
calendar year.
$5,000.
That's because the county gave them an extension to stay there?
I don't think so.
No, matter of
They
fact,
did.
they're looking for volunteers, by the way, on Thursday night. Anybody that knows any young people can help out, Susan
5,000 before, that's what I, they say.
Unless we're looking for another
For a
site.
future home, I believe.
Future home,
Right,
yeah.
okay. I think we could put that in the budget.
But why do they need, this is what I'm confused about, because why do they need money if the county is going to get them another place to go?
The county isn't.
It doesn't say anywhere.
I'm just confused, it just seems premature to me, because I thought the county was still working with them. What did you say that was on Thursday?
Thursday, from 6 to 8, and if it gets done earlier, it gets done earlier.
And where are they putting
It's a
them?
senior,
Yeah.
center. I don't know, you just need help to move boxes out of the storage room, the more people, the better. Otherwise, you rely on the seniors to do it.
Where they gonna move boxes out of the storage?
As storage is fine at this
Well,
point.
you don't know where it's going.
Unless they're gonna put them out in the main room, I don't know. You just need to get them out of storage. They accumulated over 30 years.
Is it
Accumulated,
storage
so,
on property or somewhere else?
That, I don't know. I just know that anybody.
They may need the storage room for something else.
No,
They may need the storage room for something else, but
Is that one of the rooms that flooded?
I don't know. I was on the phone briefly because I thought, she called me before I got over here. That's where I cut the conversation. I just saw that mention.
Okay.
Yes.
I think
You could-
$5,000.
you could put it on 22.
You could put that in the budget.
Oh, yeah, I think it's something we just need to look at when we go towards budget.
Well, we already have 3,000 in there, don't we?
Yes. So it would be an extra two. We'll look at that.
In the budget.
To give the seniors.
Yeah.
We always do it.
Actually, it was only 1,400 last year.
That's all it was?
I didn't know that you had one.
What are the budget meetings?
Since
I'm sorry? Budget meetings, what are they? I don't know. I know he just got the figures from our treasurer.
So we're not gonna get this passed before Thanksgiving?
I don't know that for sure, Debbie said it's only the 10th. So I'm sure that, I'm sure he'll have it done by Friday, maybe put out the preliminary by Friday.
I know he's working on it, but I don't know that you'll have meetings and you'll have a budget by the 10th, by January, date.
It's like January either.
Would you say you don't think we'll have a budget by?
I don't think you'll have a budget passed by
Thanksgiving.
then.
Oh, I didn't say pass, but we will have it in our hands by long before then.
You won't have a preliminary ready though, that's what I'm saying.
That's what
We
she's
might,
talking about.
we can have it, yeah, I'm talking about
It's not a
Just to
budget
vote on
till we
the
pass it.
preliminary, that's what I'm saying, to vote on the preliminary. We won't.
It's all preliminary until we pass it. So the first draft that he gives us is preliminary, so is the second, and the third, and the fourth.
So hopefully, next week, we'll set up some meetings next week. Anybody have anything else for the agenda?
Yeah, well, not the agenda, but if we're off of that part. I would like to do a cleanup down at the Robin Morris Plaza. I thought about doing it earlier. I was down there on the 4th of July weekend and did the cleanup. There's a lot of rose bushes that are dead behind there, and I cut some in the back. There's a lot of run brush and vines in the back there, wrapped around the bottom where that stand is for the bulb. So I thought about cleaning that up because it really needs it. And I thought it'd be really nice if it could be decorated nice for Christmas, which is something we had mentioned last year, and it was too late to do it, I think, because it got so close. But I thought it'd be a
No, we
nice
got something
idea.
together, but it was a little bit.
It was rushed, I think, at the
It was a
last
little bit
minute or
rushed.
something
Is
like that.
there a permanent evergreen down there?
Yes.
Because I remember last year, wasn't there a?
One died, they took it out, and I
There was a fake one, what did we
Yeah,
put
I remember,
Yeah,
it had blown over a couple times.
it did blow,
Picked it up.
so did I.
Well, it needs a serious cleanup, so I'm going to put a memo into the borough, let them know that I would like to do it. I'll get the papers that people can sign for volunteers, like they do for the MEAC when they do
When
any
do you think?
cleanups. After the next couple of weeks, I guess. I'll look at the calendar and see, I'll drop them in.
Would you want to do like decorating and cleanup as part of the same organized group?
Yeah, it doesn't matter, whoever wants to do it, whoever wants to join in. And I thought it'd be real nice if we could get a tree to put up there. It'd be nice to actually
Well, I'll reach out
decorate
to the
it downtown.
business association too, to see if get as almost like an extension down Bridge Street, get the businesses to do something.
As far as paying for the stuff, I mean?
No, just
So, like
participate.
Oh, the decorating.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And maybe they would donate the tree.
Maybe the businesses would donate
We
the
should
tree.
think to plant a tree down there, so we have it
Because
each
the other one
year.
died.
It's not ours.
What?
It is.
The
More
plaza?
philosophy.
We own that little piece.
And we own that piece, but the piece behind it, the parking lot,
Yeah.
is shared, that's not really ours.
Well, it's too late to put an evergreen in for this year's.
Right,
council.
but it's something we should look at long term.
But
Plus they keep dying, then.
If it's decorated, I'd like to see it decorated uniformly.
Well, I told Annie how bad it was behind there in the springtime, and she's been real busy, but I said to her I would like her to take a look at that because of the one dying before. And she said we could look into one, an evergreen that doesn't get too big. She named what one it was, that would only get to a certain height, but it'd be nice to have an evergreen there so that at Christmas time you'd be able to actually decorate.
Was it one that was
We have one
planted,
here.
or was it one maybe that was there for years and years?
There was one that was there, but it died. It died, they took it out, and then there's like rose bushes, and there's some other kind of bushes back there, but a lot of them are really badly damaged. Like I said, a couple of them I took all the way down because there was nothing there. It was
Right.
just sticks there. The stuff in the back is very invasive, so it's getting very, very overgrown, and I think that's where the vines are coming. The vines are actually coming in, and they're coming up underneath where that stonework is.
Right.
Eventually, it's gonna affect that wall, it's gonna affect that stone, because you know what that does is vines.
And that gets the trash too.
And
The
that has,
trash.
yeah, that has to come out.
How much would a tree cost, do you think?
Depending on the size.
$140 I priced it. for
How high?
one.
How tall?
I think it's probably 15.
Oh, that's
Twelve
small.
For $140, 12?
Cheap.
Yeah, for real one.
Oh, it's cheap.
Probably.
What's
That's
that?
what
This is not one of the plants, this is just one to put.
Well, what about one with a ball on the bottom that you could put there?
I have no idea.
That's the thing, they gotta clean that out, you won't be able to do it right now in time. It's
I
gotta
mean-
go in, it's too late in season.
I would put a cut line tree there and then maybe in the spring you plant it.
You can't put a ball in there now.
You don't want to plant in the winter time.
Is that what you, the 140 is for
Like a
cut
tree,
tree?
a cut one and
a
then.
cut? Okay, I thought you were talking
Oh,
about,
no, one and then
I'll
we
talk
have
I was gonna ask you
one.
the nursery ones.
Yeah.
I'll talk.
If you're gonna do that, maybe you could even talk to like Winterfest people and see if you can, like the tree again, like the leaves.
Well, I don't want to step on the mayor's toes, I know they did it before at the Borough Hall here, but they got a smaller tree now, and
Sandy
before
put
the.
down the one tree.
Yeah,
So-
but now the fire company was here last year, so it wasn't done here.
That's true.
But I know that the police weren't real, sometimes it gets really tight out there with the kids if they gotta get out of an emergency. So I thought maybe, yeah, they can, but it could be his choice. Now, I don't wanna take that from him if he, you know what I mean?
Gotcha.
That's a whole different thing, but he's more than welcome if he wants to make that an area for that like they did before, that's fine. I don't really care about that, I just feel like he
the
cleaned up.
the only problem with lighting the tree down there is that the tree lighting area is too dangerous. We did do it for 2 years, and it's just way too dangerous with the traffic,
Okay.
and people gather
Yeah,
on the
they,
corner.
yeah, on the corner.
So that was one of the reasons we came back to this
Yeah,
area.
Could at least decorate it though.
It's still be good to have that decorated.
Yeah.
Yeah.
absolutely.
All the traffic that goes through town.
Yeah, maybe
You
we'll,
have the garland
Keep
to
it up
put
in
up.
December.
yeah, I'd be willing to donate some garland for the wall and some lights to go with it. Like I said,
Well,
maybe I
we
can
need to
get
check with
the
the borough first, because we do have the garland.
They do have a lot of stuff down there.
We already have that.
Alright, well, I know you checked last year, they didn't have the lights all matched. That's all I'm saying.
They had garland that they put up there though, it looked really nice.
They have a garland? Okay.
Yes, we have
So we just
garland.
have to get lights.
I think they had wreaths, but they did, I don't know that they had any lights. I think they're really
There's
nice.
electricity down there, right?
Yeah, there is
Yes.
on both sides,
Yes.
there's two plugs there for that, and there's actually water there too, there's a line to, when you do go to plant. Like, you have to get those lines out before you ever think about putting a tree in there, that's what's killing it. The stuff in the back that's coming through the ground, and it's
Right.
grabbing the roots underneath that.
That's down the five you're talking about.
Yes.
Yeah, and that's, like Annie said, in the spring, take a look at it, there's a lot of, you're gonna have some guys go down and help too, and actually take a lot of that out.
If we don't find a donor for a live tree, then there is money in the plaza, there's plaza money.
Okay,
The
so like
line
the
item.
electric utilities,
So,
right?
so we can possibly just
I could put
get
it out there.
money from there.
I can put it out there if anybody wants to donate to it, find out what the price of it is, and it would have to be maybe even the firemen might want to help as far as putting the wooden stand. I had one time done in my house years ago, and they actually built a wooden stand for that side to sit on, you know. So you want to make sure it's secured properly. We have the pole there too to be secure, but I thought it'd be really nice if the downtown was decorated nice,
Absolutely.
you know. So it's just a thought, anybody that wants to.
Well, we can put that on 22 if you give me a date, or just, if
Okay,
you don't have one now, then just call down to the Borough Hall and
okay.
look for volunteers that way.
Is there, any of you guys want to be a part of that? Do you want to pick a
Absolutely.
date, you have a
I'm not
date
free
that's
until
open?
December, but,
Oh, really?
I mean, if you wanna do it before then, I don't need to be involved, obviously, but
Well, Winterfest is the 6th, but that doesn't mean it has to be ready by then.
Yeah.
It's up to you.
I would think
Right.
Saturday after Thanksgiving.
Saturday after Thanksgiving would probably be best, right, which is
So that's
28th.
the 28th?
The 6th, that's a Sunday.
Yeah,
6th of
but
December
the
is a Sunday, right?
Then,
Right,
then
right.
it's the 5th, I'm sorry. Winterfest is
That'll
the
be
5th.
right after Winterfest. And then you have it up for three weeks before, but we'll probably do New Year's and you can take it down, so if you want to do 4 weeks, we'll go. You can do either one. You can do either the weekend after Thanksgiving or just give time to get the stuff and, or it's said right after Winterfest. That's the mayor what he thinks about it, but,
It's up to you.
yeah.
Well, I believe the Winterfest is already planning on lighting the tree here.
Yeah, okay.
So, I would imagine
Who's in
the
the
mayor will be
Winterfest?
part of that.
You know who's on that?
The only one I know is Robin Weismeyer. I don't know. I don't know.
Do you know who's on that?
She leads that committee, I don't know. I think they're doing the vendors at the school this year too, because they did that before and it took off for a while, so I think that's there. And then Summer Street is doing their,
It's not in the school, but I think Ivan's house is,
Yeah, the Summer Sea Christmas shop is.
yeah, that should be
no,
advertised.
it's usually the
on
next
TV.
week. Last year they did it the second week. The library will not be doing anything this year.
What are you doing on the 28th?
Yeah, let me take,
28th of December.
what do you think after Thanksgiving, would most people be available, you think, after that, or would it be best the weekend of Winterfest like the next day? You have to watch the weather too, you know, you gotta be able to catch it in there where you're not gonna, even if we got the part that's cleaned up, unless they don't get the tree until then, at least get it cleaned up, you know?
Well, they'll decorate it, they'll decorate regardless, so I think cleanup is definitely, should be the priority.
Right, and then get the,
How about on November 21st, the week before?
Well, that's
that's like
before
next week,
Thanksgiving.
next weekend.
That's a little too early, I think.
Do you wanna wait until the borough decorates and see what they do and add to that?
I mean,
Do a
basically,
clean
You
up?
just communicate first, I don't think you.
Yeah, I think they do, they did the wreaths last year. I don't think they did any kind of, like, the plaza, all I remember was having that garland put up there.
Right,
There wasn't anything
Well,
else.
that's because I think Corinne had offered to do the tree or something,
Right.
so they didn't. If we decorate the tree, I'd like it to be substantial,
Mhm.
you know, something that you can see.
Yeah,
There's
there would have to be.
you know,
Right.
like
That's what I'm saying, at least.
larger
15.
ornaments and, you know, and uniform,
yeah,
not a mishmash.
Right, exactly, exactly. All right. All right, would you all something up in a memo and I'll put it in? See who wants to either contribute towards it or be part of it.
yeah, make sure you put a rain date in there too, because you're right, because this weather's
Yeah,
crazy.
okay.
Are you sending an amendment to us, you're saying?
No, I'm saying I'll send it to the borough so that you
Oh.
have it and then you guys all have it
Something
too.
on
Because
22 on the website.
We already, yeah, now we
Sure
already
you
know.
don't, I mean, you sure you don't wanna do
Well,
this on
that's
the
you.
21st, and if the weather is bad, then you have your rain date, which will be the 28th, because you get to December, it can be very cold.
Well,
People go crazy.
my
if you're
personal
decorating
opinion is,
ornaments.
now that's 6 weeks of decorations, and they can really get beat up after
I
so
know I
many
kinda
weeks.
went up through Lahaskan, they were putting up a road in the middle of the month.
How about if we see if we can get the actual cleanup part done before Thanksgiving? Should we do that or the weekend of Thanksgiving?
Yeah,
People have time to
cleaning it
do
up would be as
You
soon as
got enough
possible.
people down there to just get it all pulled out and cleaned
It's just a good thing if you already have the volunteers to do 2 jobs at once.
and then find out from the borough what they have as far as borrowing. And then we will know. As far as lights, and we just have to get donations for the lights. He said I'll donate for lights
I
too.
think they just
We need a lot of lights,
bought
we're doing a
lights
15-foot tree.
last year, but I guess that was for this tree.
Yeah, it wasn't down there, we checked the lights last year, they were all different ones, so it'd be better if they were like, you know, all clear and then do whatever.
Right.
You know, so they all match.
We should have a decent collection of lights here, because we could do it in front of the library, the Bulldog House, we could do some lights here.
Yeah, I don't remember them having a lot of lights
I don't
last
think
year.
they had.
Right.
Yeah, I'm just saying, like,
Right,
even if residents wanted to donate old lights, if they got LED lights or something like that, we could have.
Yeah,
yeah, but that's how you
Problem.
get, that's how you get mishmash.
That's what happened last year.
Hallway building and so on.
You'd be better off
It
just
wasn't
getting
enough.
that.
Wasn't enough,
To make
right.
sure they're all purchased.
We don't know that.
I do.
Don't you remember?
No, I don't think.
Get a mishmash. Now, the property that we're gonna clean up, that's borough property?
Oh, you're saying because of the shopping center?
Right behind where the.
I know what you're talking about.
Okay.
Why do volunteers have to clean it up?
They.
We always have to, and, yeah.
No,
It's not getting
the
done.
EAC did it for years, and then the business association said that they came in and did it 2 different times.
Because our guys who mow around, they're not getting behind, that's why the stuff's getting so
Well,
basic.
not only that, our men are not trained to know what to pull out and what not to pull out. Honestly, so,
Yeah, you never wind up
which
with
is
nothing.
why it was left up to the EAC or someone that
I
has
don't remember ever
knowledge.
seeing that.
Yeah, they did. I remember, yeah, they did.
Yes.
Yeah, they did. Yeah, a while back, and then the
Yes.
business association took it over,
This is
and did it for a while, but it hasn't been done in quite a while. All right,
Just let us know, Debbie, all
all
right?
right. I'll send it then.
Anything else? Or business? No? All right. We have a motion to adjourn?
Second.
8:06. Thank you. Meeting adjourned.
Just,
I don't think we have, I mean,
All those in favor?
oh,
Aye.
She can take the role.
I wanted to put in our meeting to send out to the PSCC. June Scholastic on that address.
Because this is the whole fall, this big thing, out of PVC materials, tie the lights off, then to it, screw it up.
No, it's our tree.
You just need the string lights. We've done
And
that.
do this with.
That's not a bad idea, that's not a bad idea. That's what they make nowadays.
Have you loaded up?
Yeah, I don't like the idea, but I'm going.
Maybe you put garland in.
That's on the playground.
what is a fire hazard?
Outside is no fire.
Because like when I walk in the room, it's a fire hazard.
It'll short out, that's the word.
Were these TVs on earlier?
I don't think so.
I remember seeing
Right.
us.
Yeah, up there too.
When did they turn off?
Maybe when I
I know what you're, no, I meant
You
because
didn't bang the gavel?
he's saying put like lights, garland or lights.
That shut them
That's
off.
what he said.
No.
Like a clap?
I'll tell you, it looks good, good. Look around and give receipt.
Debbie, I'll have, Bob tomorrow. Have Rick pull up all the, just go down and kind of pick it in there, what we have. I know we have, because we have the trees, the official trees,
It's like a K cup.
and then we have, I know we have garlic. We also have, but I think they threw away the poinsettias.
Actually, it's good.
Wait a minute, you said it's down there.
As good as fall.
These fibers,
So are they fake?
they're fake, they're fake, and they would wait for,
Every time.
and it would be, but every, when the garlic go to this, they would put them at the top, like,
Right.
whatever it was, but
On the
they
wall.
started to look shabby when they cleaned up the basement.
Well, they have
There you
photos,
go.
they pick photos.
That's better than
Right.
coffee, cheap coffee.
So,
Yeah.
if
I said that's better than
you
drinking
grade that,
cheap
with
coffee.
lights, you
What's
just
the
put
special?
a bow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Each one
I'll have to
of
see
those.
what the photos are out.
There's one of those trying to go get stuff.
I don't know,
Now,
more than that. It's
I'm just trying to think what.
get any size coffee stuff.
Maybe seven.
You gotta
Where
order
is
it,
it?
not,
It's a dollar.
put it over our.
Where's that
Why
dollar?
do you do that?
I don't know.
I don't know how they-
Like, you hang that in front of the word Robert Morris Plaza.
I think it was above it, I think it was above it, yeah.
Yeah.
So long as we.
Remember that place?
Behind the statue, over there, everything
I
else.
like the Halloween.
And I think the firm too gave, their big industrial bags where we did the cleanup down the river, so if the guys have some of those, we can use those down there. And then what we did was, once we packed everything up, then we just put them there and the guys would line and pick them up, so. We brought that out.
We need to one parking lot size.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, but I would keep, because they probably won't pick them up till Monday, they're not gonna come out, I'm gonna go try to pick them up on Monday.
Right.
So, just,
Well,
you
it's
kind
pretty
of tuck
dark
them,
ways.
if you just tuck them there somewhere.
Yeah, we can take the.
Yeah. Somebody's trying to do that.
I'm sure there's gonna be other sorted trash that's blown in.